Dog living at garbage dump begged people to take him home, but no one would. A sweet dog named Hercules was living at the garbage dump. Every time someone came to dump their belongings, the dog would run over to greet him. In this own way, he was asking them to take him home. Sadly, no one did. Maybe they viewed him like trash because of where he was living and how dirty he was. The smart dog would know which cars belonged to people and would come and feed him, and he would run happily or jump on the window and say hello. Amanda Cunefare, a volunteer for Rescuers Without Borders (RWB), an organization that rescues dogs in Turkey, told the Dodo. He'd jump up on the windows of the car and he clung to every person. He was a people dog. Shockingly, he wasn't the only one dog living at the landfill. More than 800 other strays lived there too. It was a hard life. The conditions were heartbreaking. It was cold and there was no food around. The dogs scavenged the best they could, but it was obvious they were starving. It is cold, there is no clean water, and food is scarce. Cunefare explained, you have to fight with 800 dogs for rescues and bury yourself in piles of garbage to stay warm. It's a horrible, horrible place to have to survive for years. 4 years ago, a young Turkish woman named Goose Erdogan began feeding the dogs at the landfill and getting them medical care. Even removing the dogs when possible. Last year, RWB decided to join Erdogan and help the landfill dogs. The team has saved 47 of the landfill dogs and rehomed them. For the others, they continue to feed them and get them veterinary care. RWB wish they could rehome all the dogs, but they don't have the resources. For now, they focus on puppies and senior dogs who have a harder time surviving the heart condition. Hercules fell into the other category. He wasn't a puppy and he wasn't a senior. He was also strong and doing better than most considering where he was living. But Hercules wanted to leave. He desperately wanted a home. He would run to the volunteers' vehicle and try to hop inside. This dog wanted so badly, Cunefare said. You could see it in his eyes. Cunefare had never been to the dump herself. She resides in Illinois but has already taken in one of the landfill dogs named Dodo, a 10-year-old dog who lived there for the last 5 years. She's an old lady, Cunefare said. She's 143 pounds and she's a big old mama. I wanted to adopt an older one because I'd felt like she'd fought so hard to survive. RWB knew that Hercules would thrive with Cunefare but were afraid to ask her to do so. Nice Dodos had a lot of challenges of her own. Plus, Cunefare took into another senior landfill pup named King Arthur. Goke had contacted my friend. Cunefare said she'd said that she was afraid to ask me, but she wanted to know if she could send me Hercules, because since Judas had left, she was not doing very well. Turns out the Hercules and Judas were actually best friends at the landfill, and Judas had become a sort of surrogate mother to Hercules. It was a rough place, but Judas made it her mission to look out for Hercules. Once she left, Hercules was broken-hearted.